Victor von Doom stands in his Latverian castle before a dimensional scanner showing fractures in reality. One leads to a world where gods have failed and death itself is broken. He sees a land of immortal suffering, kingdoms built on rot and false hope, order itself corrupted into tyranny. Doom has conquered nations. He has bent science and sorcery to his will. Now he will prove that only absolute control can heal a world abandoned by its gods. The machine hums, arcane circuits merge with stolen Darkhold runes, and reality spits with a sound like tearing metal. Doom steps through. Act I arrival inciting threat. The sky above Limgrave cracks open. Lightning the color of green flame pours down. The clouds split apart like torn cloth. A shape falls through, not tumbling but descending with purpose. Armor catches the light. A cape the color of dried blood whips in the wind. Doom lands on the soil of the lands between. The impact creates a crater 10 feet wide. Grass turns black at the edges. The Erdtree's light flickers for just a moment, like a candle in wind. Doom rises. His armor shows no dent. His mask reflects gold light. Another broken world crying for order, Doom says. His voice carries across the plains. 300 yards away, a camp of tarnished warriors stares. They wear leather and chain. Their swords are old. Some still bleed from fighting wolves and soldiers. A woman with short red hair grips her spear. "What is that?" she whispers. Her captain, a man named Roderick, raises his hand for silence. He has fought in Stormvale. He has seen things that should not live, but this is different. This arrival feels like a challenge to the gods themselves. Doom scans the horizon. His sensors show him a land of ruins, castles broken across hills, a golden tree impossibly large in the distance, its light touching everything. His armor's instruments detect grace, actual divine favor flowing like invisible rivers through the air. Fascinating, Doom says. A metaphysical substrate maintaining resurrection, crude but effective. He takes one step forward. The ground beneath him trembles, not from his weight, from something responding to his presence. Roderick sees them first, shapes emerging from the mist along the road. Soldiers in golden armor, their bodies wrong. Some have too many arms. Others have heads bent at angles that should kill them. They march in perfect lines. Their eyes glow with light that is not life. "Misbegotten," Roderick breathes, "and Godric's exiles. Together, that's not possible." But it is happening. 40 soldiers advance. Behind them, something larger moves. A giant with chains wrapped around its arms. Its skin is gray stone. Its eyes are empty pits. The tarnished camp scrambles. Warriors grab weapons. Someone screams for retreat. Doom watches the approaching force. He counts enemies, measures their formation, calculates threat level. Acceptable, he says. He raises one hand. Green light coils around his fingers. The air itself seems to bend. Doom speaks 3 words in a language that hurts to hear. Lightning falls from his palm. It strikes the lead soldier. The golden armor explodes. The body inside turns to ash before it hits the ground. The lightning chains to the next soldier, then the next. 6 die in 2 seconds. Their screams cut short. The smell of burning metal fills the air. The giant roars. It charges forward, each step shaking the earth. Doom does not move. He raises his other hand. A sphere of force expands outward. It hits the giant like a wall. The creature stops mid-stride. Its momentum dies. For a moment, it hangs suspended, pressed against invisible force. Then Doom closes his fist. The giant compresses, stone skin cracks, bones break with sounds like falling boulders. The sphere shrinks to the size of a man's head, then a fist, then nothing. The giant is gone. Only dust remains, falling slowly to the ground. The remaining soldiers hesitate. That hesitation costs them. Doom gestures, and the earth erupts. Spikes of rock tear up through soil, each one sharp as a blade. They punch through armor, through flesh, through bone. 16 soldiers die pinned to the ground. The last 18 turn and run. Doom could pursue. Instead, he lowers his hands. The green light fades. He examines his gauntlets. Small cracks spider across the left one. The dimensional transit took more power than calculated. He will need time to stabilize his armor's energy matrix. Doom requires information, he announces to the empty battlefield. Behind him, the tarnished camp stirs. Roderick steps forward slowly, spear lowered but ready. His people follow at a distance. They stare at the craters, the ash, the dust that was a giant. "You saved us," Roderick says carefully. "We are grateful." "Gratitude is irrelevant," Doom replies. He turns to face them. His mask shows nothing. "You will tell me what manner of world this is. You will explain your gods, your wars, your laws. In exchange, Doom will ensure your survival." A young woman in the group, barely 20 with burn scars on her arms, speaks up. "The gods are dead or mad. The wars never end. The laws are broken. We fight to survive, we die and return. The grace guides some of us, the rest just suffer." Doom processes this. Resurrection mechanics, divine favor as a measurable force, cosmic law in decay. "And who rules here?" he asks. "No one," Roderick says bitterly. "Queen Marika shattered the Elden Ring. The demigods fought over the pieces. Now each great rune holder claims the right to rule. The Golden Order maintains its churches and its rules, but even the Two Fingers seem confused. We tarnished were called back to fix this, to become Elden Lord. But most of us just try not to die, or die too much." Doom sees opportunity. A power vacuum, fractured authority, a world system crying for reorganization. "Unacceptable," he states. "This chaos serves no one. Order must be restored." A new voice cuts through the air. "Order is the Golden Order, all else is heresy." A man approaches from the east road. He wears white robes marked with golden thread. His face is gaunt, eyes bright with certainty. He carries a staff topped with a golden symbol, a circle with lines radiating inward. Two knights in ceremonial armor flank him. "I am Brother Valis," the priest says, "servant of the Golden Order, voice of the Erdtree's will. I felt the heretical magic. I saw the unnatural lightning. You, stranger, bear no grace. You are not tarnished. You are not of the greater will. What you have done is blasphemy." Doom regards him. "Your order failed to protect these people. Your gods abandoned this world to rot and madness. Do not speak to Doom of heresy." Valis's face hardens. "Careful, Outlander. The Golden Order has endured for ages. It will endure beyond you. If you wish to remain in the lands between, you will submit to its laws. You will present yourself to the Fingers. You will accept judgment." "Doom submits to no one," Victor says quietly. The two knights shift, hands moving to sword hilts. Roderick steps between them. "Please, there's been enough death today. Brother Valis, this man saved 30 tarnished from certain slaughter. Whatever his methods, his results speak well." "His methods are corruption," Valis snaps. "That green fire is not holy, it is not grace, it is not of this world." The Erdtree recoiled from it. "I felt it." Doom's sensors confirm this. The ambient grace in the area has indeed diminished by 12% since his arrival. His presence is draining the local metaphysical substrate. The dimensional breach is not fully closed. He is leaking exotic energies into this reality. And sir, this will become a problem. "I will stabilize the breach," Doom says. "Your grace will return to normal levels within 6 hours. In the meantime, I require a secure location and access to historical records." "You require nothing," Valis begins. The earth shakes, this time not from Doom's power, from something approaching, something heavy. The tarnished scatter, looking around wildly. "Sadies." From the north, trees fall. A shape moves between them, too large, wrong in proportion. It emerges into the open plain. A bear, but transformed. Its body is twice normal size, fur matted with dried blood and stranger things. Its eyes glow with grace corrupted into feral rage. Runes shimmer across its hide, fragments of divine power twisted into animal fury. Its roar shakes the air. "Rune bear," someone whispers in pure terror. The beast charges, not at Doom, at the camp, at the weakest targets. Doom calculates. The creature weighs approximately 4,000 pounds. Its hide shows evidence of magical reinforcement. Standard kinetic attacks will have reduced effectiveness. Its speed is remarkable for its mass. He has perhaps 4 seconds before it reaches the tarnished. Doom raises both hands. Pain shoots through his left arm, the gauntlet's damaged circuits screaming at the power demand. He ignores it. Green energy coalesces into a spear 10 feet long, solid as steel, burning with dimensional force. He throws it. The spear crosses 200 yards in half a second. It strikes the bear in the chest. The impact stops its charge, physically lifts it off its feet, carries it backward. The spear punches clean through the creature's body and pins it to an oak tree. The tree splits. The bear roars once, pawing at the shaft, then goes still. The light in its eyes fades. The grace runes on its hide flicker and die. The body begins to dissolve, returning to the Erd tree according to laws Doom does not yet understand. His left gauntlet smokes. 3 circuits have burned out. He will need to repair them soon. Roderick stares. That was a rune bear. I've seen them kill whole parties. 10 armed tarnished dead in seconds. You just eliminated a threat, Doom finishes, as I will eliminate any threat to order in this place. Father Velis looks shaken, but holds his ground. You see, the Golden Order sent that creature to test you, and you met sacred life with murder. You are a danger. That creature was targeting civilians, Doom says coldly. Would your order prefer I let it kill them while I sought permission? The Golden Order provides for all in time, Valis says, but his voice wavers. Your order provides death and resurrection in endless cycle, Doom counters. That is not providence, that is torture. I have seen failed systems before. I know them by their fruits. The standoff holds for 3 breaths. Then new sounds echo across the plains. Horns, war drums. From the south, a column of soldiers appears. Real soldiers this time, not corrupted exiles. They wear tabards, showing a castle sigil. Their weapons gleam. At their head rides a woman in armor that seems grown from gold itself, elegant and terrible. Her hair is black, her eyes cold. She stops 50 yards away. Her voice carries with trained authority. I am Commander Alessa of the Lanedale garrison. We received word of unnatural phenomena and heretical magic in this region. The capital has sent me to investigate. Her gaze fixes on Doom. You are the source. I am Victor von Doom, he replies. I have restored order to chaos here. Your assistance was not required. Alessa dismounts. She approaches with her hand on her sword hilt, but not drawing. She looks at the craters, the ash, the spot where the bear died. She looks at the tarnished, safe hole, staring at Doom with mixed fear and gratitude. You killed 40 soldiers and a giant, she says slowly. You destroyed a rune bear with a single strike. You did this alone. Yes. And you claim this was in defense of tarnished refugees. It was not a claim. It was fact. Alessa studies him. Doom studies her in return. He sees intelligence in her eyes, calculation. She is no fanatic. She is a soldier trying to navigate impossible circumstances. The Golden Order law is clear, Alessa says carefully. Unregistered demigods, outer god envoys, and visitors from beyond the lands between must be brought before the fingers for judgment. This is not cruelty. This is necessary. We have seen what happens when powerful beings act without accountability. The shattering itself was born from such arrogance. I am not one of your failed gods, Doom says. Then prove it, Alessa replies. Come to Lendal. Speak to those who might understand what you are. Let us determine if you are ally, enemy, or worse. Doom considers. He needs time to repair his armor. He needs information about this world's power structure. He needs to assess whether the Golden Order can be reformed or must be replaced. Most importantly, he needs to close the dimensional breach fully. Every hour it remains open is an hour his connection to Latveria weakens. He feels it already, is linked to his homeland's mystical defenses, fraying at the edges. If it snaps, he may not be able to return. The thought of Latveria, without his rule, even briefly, is intolerable. But showing weakness now would be strategic error. Doom will accompany you, he says. But be clear, I come as sovereign, not supplicant. Any attempt to imprison or control me will end poorly for all involved. Alessa nods slowly. Understood. We ride at dawn. Brother Valis steps forward. Commander, you cannot grant him such status. He must— Mother Valis, Alessa interrupts gently but firmly. You saw him destroy a rune bear. I have 30 soldiers. If he wished us harm, we would already be dead. We extend courtesy and hope he returns it. This is wisdom, not weakness. Valis falls silent, but his expression promises future complications. Roderick approaches Doom. Will you stay with us tonight? We have little, but we owe you. No, Doom says. I require solitude to complete repairs. He looks at the tarnished, these people struggling in a broken system. But know this, if your order will not protect you, Doom will. That is not charity, that is function. A ruler's first duty is the safety of those under their domain. We're not under your domain, a young man says nervously. Doom turns to look at him. Not yet. He walks away from the camp toward a cluster of ruins half a mile distant. His cape drags through grass still wet with morning dew. Behind him the tarnished whisper, some with hope, some with fear, all with confusion. Commander Alessa watches him go. What have the Erdtree's winds brought us now? Trouble, Brother Valis mutters. Alessa cannot argue, and Codex note, Doom's armor leaks dimensional energies that drain local grace by converting it to stabilize the breach, creating zones of grace absence where the Golden Order's power weakens. Act 2 First victory, first ideology clash. Dawn comes cold and grey over Limgrave. Doom has spent the night in meditation and repair. His left gauntlet now functions at 87%. The breach has been reduced, but not eliminated. He will need stronger materials, access to this world's fundamental forces. The grace itself might be usable as a power source if he can decode its metaphysical structure. The column forms at sunrise. Commander Alessa's 30 soldiers, Brother Valis and his 2 knights, Roderick with 7 tarnished volunteers, including the red-haired woman whose name Doom has learned is Kera. They travel light but ready. The road to Lendl winds through lands scarred by war. They pass burned villages, fields full of graves, a church with its roof collapsed, prayer books scattered in the mud, everywhere the signs of a world that has been destroying itself for longer than anyone can remember. Itana Doom observes in silence. His sensors catalog everything: population density, agricultural capacity, infrastructure damage. He begins building economic models, reconstruction estimates. This world needs more than military victory. It needs systematic rebuilding. But first, it needs to stop trying to kill him. They are attacked 3 hours into the journey. Ikadud, not by exiles or beasts this time, by soldiers, professional soldiers in the colors of Redmane Castle, red tabards with a black lion, 50 of them blocking the road ahead, cavalry on the flanks. Their captain, a scarred man with a face like old leather, rides forward. Commander Alessa, you carry an abomination. We cannot allow it to reach the capital. Alessa's hand goes to her sword. Captain Garrus, by whose authority do you challenge a capital garrison? General Radan's authority, Garrus says, and Doom's sensors detect pride and pain in equal measure in those words. Before he fell to the rot, the Star Scourge commanded us to protect the lands between from outer god corruption. That thing, he points at Doom, reeks of power from beyond. We can smell it. It corrupts the grace. It must be destroyed. I am not corruption, Doom states. I am order. You are change, Garrus spits. Change destroyed this world. We need no more change. We need strength to hold what remains. And yet you cannot even hold a simple road, Doom observes. Your general is mad with scarlet rot. Your forces scatter and fight amongst themselves. This is not strength. This is decay calling itself tradition. Garrus's face goes red. You know nothing of our struggles, of what we've lost. Radan held the stars themselves in place. He was a god among warriors. Now he eats corpses on a beach, and we maintain his laws, because they're all that's left of him. The words hang in the air. Around them, both groups of soldiers shift uncomfortably. These are not enemies who hate each other. These are people caught in a tragedy no one knows how to end. Alessa speaks quietly. Garrus, I was at the Battle of Aeonia. I saw millennia's bloom. I saw what the rot did, but this stranger is not the rot. He saved tarnished lives yesterday. He comes under truce. If you attack him, you attack the capital's authority. Then the capital's authority is compromised, Garrus says sadly. He draws his sword. I take no joy in this, Alessa, but orders are orders, even mad one. His soldiers draw weapons. 50 blades catch the morning light. Doom assesses. These are not corrupted beings, not monsters. They are soldiers following orders they believe in, even knowing those orders come from a mind broken by disease and grief. They deserve a chance. Stand down, Doom commands. His voice carries across the road, amplified by his armor's systems. You cannot win this fight. You will only die uselessly. Your general in his right mind would not want this. Don't you dare speak of him, Garrus breathes. I speak of efficiency, Doom says. You have strength and discipline. Both are wasted in this ambush. Join me instead. I will restore this world to function. Under my rule, soldiers like you will have purpose again. Real purpose, not the shadow of a madman's final orders. Under your rule? Garrus laughs, and it is an ugly sound. You've been here one day and you speak of rule. You understand nothing. He kicks his horse forward. His soldiers charge behind him. Doom sighs. He tried diplomacy. Now he must use force. But he can still choose how much. He raises both hands. Green light builds, but different this time. Not lightning, not spears. A wave of force sweeps out from him like wind made solid. It hits the charging soldiers and horses. It does not burn or pierce. It simply pushes. Horses stumble and fall, dumping riders. Men are thrown back 10 feet, landing hard but not broken. Weapons fly from hands. The cavalry on the flanks finds their mounts, refusing to advance. Animal instinct overriding training. In 5 seconds, the charge becomes chaos. Soldiers on the ground scrambling up confused. Horses scattered. Formation destroyed. Doom walks forward through the disruption. He moves without hurry. His cape trails in the dust. Soldiers try to attack as he passes. He bats aside swords with casual gestures, metal ringing on metal. He steps over fallen men without harming them further. He reaches Garrus, who has risen and drawn a backup blade. The captain's eyes are wild with desperation and shame. You mock us, Garrus says. You defeat us without even trying. This is how you show respect. This is how I show mercy, Doom replies. I could have killed all of you in the time it took your horse to charge 10 feet. Instead, all of you live. All of you keep your honor. You fought, you lost. Now you make a better choice. He extends one gauntleted hand. Your general is gone, but his soldiers remain. Serve order instead of madness. Serve the living instead of the memory of the dying. Serve the lands between as it is, not as it was. Garrus stares at the offered hand. Behind Doom, Alessa has moved her troops into a protective cordon, but has not attacked. She is giving this moment space to resolve. Garrus's sword trembles, then slowly he lowers it. He does not take Doom's hand, but he does not strike either. I cannot, he says hoarsely. My oaths are to Radahn. Even mad, even dying, especially dying. That is what oaths mean. Then your oaths are chains, Doom says, not cruel but stating fact. They bind you to death instead of life. This is not honor, this is waste. Maybe, Garrus admits, but it is my waste to make He whistles. His scattered soldiers regroup slowly, gathering weapons and horses. They mount up in silence. Garrus looks at Doom one final time. You will find the capital is not so easily conquered as you think, Outlander. Lanedale has stood for ages. Its walls have broken armies. Its laws have outlasted kingdoms. You are one man with strange powers. That is not enough. It has always been enough, Doom says simply. Garrus rides away. His soldiers follow. They do not flee. They withdraw with discipline intact. Within minutes, they are gone down the western road. Alessa approaches Doom. You made an enemy today. I made 50 people who will remember I could have killed them and chosen not to, Doom corrects. When their general finally dies, they will remember. Seeds take time to grow. Roderick speaks up. That was... You just beat 50 soldiers without killing anyone. Killing is a tool, Doom says. Useful when necessary, wasteful when not. Doom does not waste resources. Brother Velis, who has watched all this in silence, finally speaks. You claim mercy, but I see only pride. You spare them to prove your superiority. You make them grateful for their own defeat. This is manipulation, not virtue. Doom turns to face him. Yes, it is manipulation. It is also mercy. The two are not contradictory. I achieve my ends while preserving life. Is this not better than your order's method of letting all sides slaughter each other and simply resurrecting the survivors to fight again? Velis has no answer. The truth of the critique sits heavy between them. They make camp that night in a hollow protected by ancient walls. Alessa posts guards while Roderick's people prepare food. Doom stands apart examining the stars. They are wrong, different constellations, and some stars seem frozen in place where they should not be. Radahn's final work before the rot took him. Kera, the red-haired tarnished, brings him bread and dried meat. You don't need to eat, do you? My armor recycles biological functions efficiently, Doom says, but the gesture is noted. She sits on a fallen stone nearby. Why are you really here? Not the science answer, the real reason. Doom considers how much truth to share. Your world is broken. My world often is as well. I have spent my life proving that only absolute enlightened control can heal such breaks. I came here to test that truth against a world even gods could not fix. And if you fail, Doom does not fail. Doom adjusts variables until success is achieved. Kera smiles, but it is sad. That's what they all say. The Golden Order, the demigods, even the tarnished who think they'll become Elden Lord. Everyone's sure they know best, and the world just keeps bleeding. Because none of them had the will to do what must be done, Doom says. They divided power. They compromised. They allowed sentiment to overrule necessity. I will not make these errors. But we're sentiments, Kera says quietly. The people, we're what you call variables. What happens when we don't fit your equations? Doom looks at her, really looks. He sees a young woman who has died and returned multiple times, who has seen friends lose their minds to despair, who fights on anyway because there is no alternative. Why, then I adjust, he says honestly. But know this, under Doom's rule, you would not need to die repeatedly. You would not need to wonder if grace will guide you or abandon you. You would know your place, your purpose, your protection. That certainty is worth the cost of freedom. Is it? Kera asks. I don't know, but I hope you're right, and I really do. Because if you're wrong, you're just another tyrant we'll have to die fighting. She walks away. Doom returns his gaze to the stars. Across the camp, Commander Alessa and Brother Valis speak in low voices. Doom's audio sensors pick up their words. He is dangerous, Valis says, more dangerous than he appears. That power comes from somewhere. It feeds on something. We must discover what. Agreed, Alessa says. But for now he honors the truce, and frankly, brother, we need dangerous. The lands between have been gentle too long with its failures. Maybe this stranger is the knife that will finally cut away the rot. Or maybe he is just another rot wearing different colors. Valis counters. The Two Fingers must judge him. It is the only way to know. The Two Fingers have been silent on many matters lately, Alessa observes. Perhaps they have no guidance to give. Perhaps we must decide ourselves what to do with him. That is heresy. Is it? Alessa's voice sharpens. Was it not heresy when Marika shattered the ring? When the demigods went to war? When the Erd Tree sealed itself? At what point does heresy become simply adaptation? Careful, Commander. Such words could see you stripped of rank. And your loyalty to law could see us all dead when we need to change. I wonder which is the greater sin. Their conversation ends. Both retreat to separate parts of the camp. Doom processes what he has heard. The cracks in the Golden Order run deeper than he first assessed. Good. Cracks can be exploited. Systems can be rebuilt. But first, he must survive their judgment. They reach Lendl 3 days later. The capital sits beneath the Erd Tree like a crown at the base of a golden scepter. The walls are immense, 200 feet high, carved from pale stone that seems to drink the light. Gates of brass, wide enough to march 10 horses abreast, stand open, but guarded by ranks of soldiers whose armor is art made lethal. The Erd Tree itself dominates everything. Doom's sensors cannot measure its height. His instruments malfunction trying to analyze it. It is not simply large. It exists on multiple metaphysical layers simultaneously. It is a tree, a fortress, a god, and a cosmic law enforcement mechanism all at once. Impressive, Doom admits. Crude in execution, but the scale is admirable. Crude? Brother Valis bristles. That is the source of all grace, the root of order itself. It is a cosmic battery, Doom corrects, poorly optimized and leaking energy across the entire continent. A skilled technomancer could increase its efficiency by 40%. Alessa hides a smile. They enter through the main gate. The streets of Lendl are clean. ordered, beautiful in the way of old power. Buildings of white stone and gold trim line wide avenues. Citizens in fine clothes move with purpose. Soldiers patrol in disciplined units. Everything speaks of control, stability, permanence. But doom sees the cracks here too, the way people avoid certain streets, the sealed buildings with golden chains across their doors, the soldiers whose eyes track everyone with fear disguised as vigilance. This is order maintained by force and prayer, not by genuine systemic health. They ascend through 3 rings of the city, each more fortified than the last. At the 3rd ring, they reach a plaza dominated by a cathedral built from gold and white stone. It gleams in the Erdtree's light. Its doors are open, revealing an interior that seems to stretch farther than the building's exterior should allow. The Church of the Golden Order, Alessa announces. Beyond is the sanctuary of the 2 fingers. They will see you now. Brother Valis leads the way inside. The cathedral is beautiful and cold. Light filters through stained glass, showing scenes of Marika's glory, her ascension, her triumph, her laws carved into the world itself. Priests in white robes move like ghosts between pillars. At the far end, past rows of empty pews, a chamber opens. It is circular, 50 feet across, floor etched with golden circles within circles. At the center, on a raised dais, something waits. 2 fingers, literally 2 immense fingers, each as thick as Doom's body and 20 feet tall, positioned upright like a grotesque hand missing its other digits. They are pale, ridged with what might be bone or cartilage. They do not move, but Doom's sensors detect awareness, intelligence, vast, alien, and utterly inhuman. A woman stands beside the fingers. She is ancient, skin like old paper, eyes milky white. She wears robes that were once gold, but they have faded to cream. When she speaks, her voice is not her own. It echoes with harmonics that suggest another intelligence speaking through her. Finger reader Enya, Brother Valis says, bowing. I bring the Outlander. Enya turns those blind eyes toward Doom. We see you, Victor von Doom. We see the grace that is not grace around you. We see the breach you wear like a crown. You are not of the greater will. You are not of the Erdtree. You are not of the finger's knowledge. No, correct, Doom says. I am of myself alone. Heresy, Enya intones, but without heat. And yet, useful heresy, perhaps. You preserved tarnished. You repelled corruption. You exercised power with restraint. The fingers are curious. The massive digits shift slightly, a wet sound like meat moving. Doom's stomach would turn if he were less disciplined. Curious, Enya continues, but also concerned. You leak energies that drain grace. You speak of ruling without divine mandate. You judge the Golden Order found wanting. These things cannot be permitted without understanding. Will you accept our test? What manner of test? Doom asks. There is a fortress north of here, Enya says. Castle Morn on the Weeping Peninsula. It is besieged by misbegotten creatures born of grafting and spite. They carry a weapon, a grafted blade greatsword, which should not exist. Its creation violated the order. Its existence is a front. Retrieve it. Destroy the misbegotten army. Do this, and we will consider that you might serve the order's ends even if you do not serve the order itself. And if I refuse? Then you will be named enemy, Enya says it simply. The capital's armies will move against you. You will be hunted. You will die, one way or another. No being can stand alone against the order's full might. Doom considers, this is theater. A test designed to assess his capabilities and his willingness to follow commands, but it is also opportunity. A misbegotten army means resources. The weapon means access to this world's crafting techniques. Most importantly, it buys time to fully close the breach and solidify his position. Doom accepts, he says, but be clear. I do this to prove my value, not my submission. The distinction matters. The fingers care nothing for distinction, Enya says. Only for function. You will leave at dawn. Commander Alessa will escort you with a small force. The journey is 2 days. The battle will determine all. Doom nods. He turns to leave but stops when Enya speaks again. One more thing, Outlander. You asked what manner of test this is. It is a test of mercy, and the misbegotten are cursed beings, twisted by forces beyond their control. They raid and kill because they know no other way. They are victims who have become villains. Will you see them as problems to eliminate, or as beings who might be redeemed? Your answer will tell us everything we need to know. Doom meets those blind eyes. I will see them as what they are, data points in a complex problem requiring optimal solution. Whether that solution is redemption or elimination depends entirely on variables I have not yet assessed. Cold, Enya murmurs, but honest. The fingers appreciate honesty. Go now, prove your function or prove your folly. Outside, night has fallen on Lendell. The Erdtree's light turns the city gold and black. Shadows sharp as blades. Doom stands on a balcony overlooking the capital, Commander Alessa beside him. The Two Fingers are afraid of you, Alessa observes. That test is meant to get you killed. Castle Morn's siege has lasted 4 months. 3 relief forces have failed. The misbegotten there are organized, led, and they have resources that should not be possible. Then it will be a worthy challenge, Doom says. You really believe you can do this alone? Alone? Doom almost smiles behind his mask. I am never alone, Commander. I am Doom. I carry my nation's will, my people's hope, my own absolute certainty. Those are greater armies than all your knights combined. Alessa studies him. You know what I think? I think you're terrified. I think that breach you're leaking from is killing you slowly. I think you're trapped here, far from home, and you're doing what you always do, pretending absolute control while scrambling to survive. Am I wrong? Doom is silent for 5 long breaths. Then, you are not entirely wrong, but I am not entirely trapped either. Doom always has contingencies. Always. Then pray they're enough, Alessa says, because if you fail at Castle Morn, the Order will crush you. And if you succeed, they'll fear you enough to try anyway. You cannot win this game, Outlander. Every game has a winning move, Doom says quietly, staring at the Erdtree. I simply must find it before the board collapses. Codex note, the Two Fingers serve as intermediaries between the greater will and the lands between, translating cosmic law into actionable doctrine, but their translations have grown increasingly unreliable since the shattering, forcing the Golden Order to interpret silence as either divine mystery or divine absence. Act 3. Escalation Spiritual Peril. The journey to Castle Morn takes 2 days through country that grows darker with each mile. The Weeping Peninsula earns its name. Rain falls constantly, cold and grey. The trees here are twisted, branches reaching like grasping hands. Villages lie abandoned, doors hanging open, belongings scattered as if people fled in panic. The grass itself seems wrong, too pale, too brittle. Doom rides with Commander Alessa and 20 of her best soldiers. Roderick and Kera insisted on coming. Brother Valis stayed in Lendell, but his 2 knights accompany them as observers. Everyone knows they are really watchers, ready to report any sign of heresy. On the first night, camped in a ruined watchtower, Alessa spreads a map. Castle Morn sits on the southern coast. It's a fortress built to guard against sea invasion. Thick walls, defendable positions, limited approaches. The misbegotten poured out of the castle 4 months ago. They killed the garrison commander and most of his men. The survivors are trapped in the inner keep. We've tried 3 times to break the siege. Each time we lost more soldiers than we could afford. What changed? Doom asks. Misbegotten are typically disorganized. This level of coordination suggests leadership. We think so too, Alessa says grimly. Reports mention a larger one, different. It commands the others. It wields the grafted blade, a sword made from dozens of other blades melted and fused together. Every warrior it kills, it adds their weapon to the mass. The blade grows stronger with each death. Doom processes this, a weapon that evolves through violence, crude but effective. And the garrison survivors? Maybe 50 left. They have food and water, but no way out. If we don't break the siege soon, the misbegotten will breach the inner keep. Then everyone dies. Kera speaks up from where she's sharpening her spear. The misbegotten aren't evil. Not really. They're creatures made by grafting, taking parts from different beings and stitching them together. They never asked to be made, and they just want to survive. But they've been treated like monsters so long that they became monsters. Sentiment, One of Velis's knights says coldly. They kill. They must be destroyed. That is the law. That is waste, Doom says. If they can be commanded, they can be redirected. A force of coordinated misbegotten under proper control could serve useful functions, dangerous labor, shock troops, reconstruction in hostile environments. Everyone stares at him. You want to enslave them? Kara asks quietly. I want to give them purpose, Doom corrects. Is that not better than extermination? They are trapped in a cycle, created as tools, discarded as mistakes, turning to violence as their only power. Under Doom's rule, that cycle ends. They become functional components of an ordered society. They become tools again, Roderick observes. Just your tools, instead of someone else's. Yes, Doom says without hesitation, but tools that are maintained, valued, and utilized properly rather than abandoned to starve and die. This is not cruelty, this is optimization. Alessa laughs, but it's not a happy sound. You really believe that, don't you? That you can just reorganize suffering into function and call it mercy? I do not call it mercy, Doom says. I call it superior to the alternative. Your order offers them only death. I offer purpose, which is the greater kindness. No one has an answer. They finish the meal in uncomfortable silence. They reach Castle Morn at noon on the second day. The fortress crouches on cliffs overlooking a grey sea. Its walls are dark stone, weathered by salt and time. Doom's sensors count approximately 300 misbegotten surrounding it. They have built crude siege works. Ladders, rams, catapults, assembled from scavenged materials. Smoke rises from dozens of cook fires. The organization is remarkable for creatures supposedly driven by instinct. There, Alessa points. On a rise near the main gate, a shape moves, larger than the others. 8 feet tall, massively built, covered in matted fur and scarred flesh. It carries a weapon that makes Doom's tactical systems flag it as a priority threat. The grafted blade, great sword, is an abomination of metallurgy. Dozens of swords melted and reformed into one massive weapon, edges jutting at odd angles, whole blades visible within the mass. It glows faintly with power that Doom's sensors identify as corrupted grace, divine energy, twisted through violence into something that grows stronger through killing. Leonine, Alessa says. That's what the survivors call it, the big one. It united the misbegotten somehow, gave them purpose. Doom studies the creature through his armor's visual enhancement. Leonine's face shows intelligence, not animal cunning, but actual thought. It barks orders to the other misbegotten in a language of growls and gestures. They obey with discipline. Fascinating, Doom murmurs. It has organized them into a functional hierarchy. Fire teams, sentries, supply chains. This creature has military training or instinct sophisticated enough to mimic it. Can you defeat it? One of the knights asks. Yes, Doom says, but the question is whether I should. Before anyone can respond, Leonine's head snaps towards them. Even from 300 yards away, Doom sees its eyes lock onto him. The creature roars. The sound carries across the battlefield, savage and commanding. Every misbegotten stops what it's doing. 300 heads turn towards Doom's position. They've seen us, Alessa says unnecessarily. Battle formation! The soldiers scramble into defensive positions. Roderick and Kara ready their weapons. The 2 knights draw blessed blades that shimmer with golden light. The misbegotten charge. They don't swarm. They advance in organized waves. The first line carries shields, the second carries spears, the third waves of claws and crude weapons. Behind them all, Leonine strides forward, the grafted blade held high. Doom steps in front of his allies. Stay behind me, all of you. We're here to help, Roderick begins. You are here to witness, Doom interrupts. If I cannot handle this alone, your presence will not change the outcome. You will only die. Doom does not waste lives unnecessarily. The first wave hits before anyone can argue. Doom raises both hands. Green lightning arcs from his palms in controlled bursts. He targets legs, not heads. The lightning strikes 20 misbegotten, overloading their muscles, sending them tumbling. They scream, but they do not die. They writhe on the ground, temporarily paralyzed. The second wave tries to leap over the fallen. Doom shifts his attack. Force waves pulse outward, time to catch the misbegotten at the apex of their jumps. They're thrown backward, crashing into their companions. Formation breaks, confusion spreads. But these are not mindless beasts. The third wave adapts. They spread wide, attacking from multiple angles. Some throw spears, others hurl rocks. They're trying to flank, to overwhelm through numbers. Doom creates a barrier. Green energy solidifies into a dome around himself and the soldiers behind him. Spears and rocks shatter against it. The shield holds easily. Down. Then Leonine arrives. The massive misbegotten brings the grafted blade down in an overhead swing that would split a horse in half. The weapon hits Doom's barrier and something terrible happens. The shield cracks, not shatters, cracks like ice under pressure. Doom feels the dimensional energies of his armor recoil. The grafted blade is drinking his power, absorbing it, adding it to its own corrupted mass. Impossible, Doom breathes. Leonine roars and strikes again and again. Each impact cracks the barrier further. On the fourth strike, it breaks. The shield explodes into green sparks. Doom staggers. His armor's readings spike into critical ranges. The grafted blade doesn't just cut, it consumes. Every magical defense, every energy projection, it feeds on them and grows stronger. Leonine lunges. The blade sweeps horizontally, too fast for something so massive. Doom dives left. The blade passes inches from his face. He feels the heat of corrupted grace burning off it. The weapon cuts through a stone pillar behind him like paper. The pillar collapses. Behind him, soldiers scatter. Alessa shouts orders, but her voice seems distant. Doom's audio systems are struggling to compensate for damage. His left gauntlet is completely offline now. Warning indicators cascade across his visual display. He cannot block this weapon. Energy defenses only feed it. He needs a physical solution. Doom grabs a fallen spear. Ladverian training takes over. Before he was a sorcerer king, he was a warrior. He parries Leonine's next swing with the spear shaft. The grafted blade cuts halfway through the wood. Doom uses the momentary resistance to pivot, driving his armored fist into Leonine's ribs. The impact should shatter bone. Leonine barely flinches. Its body is reinforced by the same corrupted grace that powers its weapon. It backhands Doom with its free hand. Doom flies 20 feet. He crashes through a wooden barricade. Pain screams through his chest. 3 ribs cracked. His armor's medical systems flood him with stabilizers and painkillers. He forces himself to stand. Leonine advances slowly now. It knows it has the advantage. Around them, the other misbegotten have stopped attacking. They form a circle watching their champion fight. "Your magic is useless here," Leonine says. Its voice is rough but clear. It can speak. "The blade eats all power given to it. You are just a man in metal. I am fury made flesh. You cannot win." Doom spits blood inside his helmet. The medical readout is grim. He's operating at 60% combat effectiveness and dropping. The dimensional breach is destabilizing. He's using too much power too quickly. If he unleashes his full arsenal, the breach might collapse entirely, trapping him here forever. But if he doesn't, he dies here and now. Doom always has options, he says. He reaches into the deepest reserves of his armor, not the dimensional energies, not his own sorcery, the emergency protocols he built after studying the Darkhold. Dark magic, blood magic, the kind that costs not just power but pieces of the soul. Green light turns sickly red. The air grows cold. Frost forms on the ground around Doom's feet. The misbegotten step back instinctively. Even Leonine hesitates. "No," Kara whispers from behind the rubble. "Don't, whatever that is, don't." Doom barely hears her. The power floods through him. It's intoxicating. It's terrible. Every use of this magic takes something irreplaceable. He's used it 3 times in his life. Each time he became slightly less human, slightly more other. But it will let him win. It always does. Leonine charges. Doom raises his hand. Red lightning, darker than blood, cold as the void between stars, lashes out. It hits the grafted blade. The weapon tries to absorb it. It cannot. This is not energy. This is entropy, death itself shaped into a weapon. The grafted blade screams, an actual sound from metal that should not be capable of sound. The red lightning crawls along its length, and where it touches, the metal corrodes. Rust spreads like cancer. blades within the mass crack and shatter. Leonine roars in rage and pain. The weapon is part of it now, connected through the corrupted grace. As the blade dies, so does its wielder. Doom presses the attack. More red lightning. He's pouring everything into it. The dimensional breach howls. He can feel it tearing wider. His connection to Latveria stretches to breaking. Leonine falls to one knee. The grafted blade crumbles in its hands. The creature looks up at Doom with eyes that show for the first time fear. "Please," it rasps, "we only wanted to be free." Doom hesitates. For one crucial second he hesitates. In that second something changes. The air shimmers. A presence makes itself known. Doom's senses detect it but cannot categorize it. Something vast, something that exists partially in this reality and partially in others. A voice speaks. It has no source. It simply is, pressing down on everyone like atmospheric pressure. "Doom of Latveria, you stand at a crossroads." The voice is not hostile, not friendly, simply observing, stating fact. "Who are you?" Doom demands. I am the witness, I am the question, I am the weight of choices." Around them everything is stopped. The misbegotten stand frozen. Alessa and her soldiers are still as statues. Only Doom and Leonine can move. "You hold death in your hand," the voice continues. "You hold corruption in your soul. You hold pride in your heart. 3 paths lie before you. Choose now. Choose quickly. The moment will not last." Doom sees them, not with his eyes, but with something deeper. 3 possible futures splitting from this instant. First path, kill Leonine. Use the dark magic fully. Win completely, but the corruption will spread through him like infection. He'll become something other than Victor von Doom. Powerful, yes. Victorious, yes. But no longer the man who swore to save Latveria. That man will die even as the body survives. Second path, stop, show mercy, try to redeem the misbegotten. But Leonine is too far gone, too twisted by its own rage and pain. It will see mercy as weakness. It will strike when Doom's guard is down. People will die, maybe Doom himself. Third path, end it quickly. Kill Leonine without the dark magic. Use conventional means. The creature dies, the threat ends, but the misbegotten lose their leader and descend back into chaos. 300 beings who might have been saved return to being monsters. The cycle continues. "Choose," the voice says. "Time resumes in 3 heartbeats." Doom's mind races. This is a test, not from the 2 fingers, from something larger, something assessing whether he truly believes his own philosophy of absolute control leading to optimal outcomes. But optimal for whom? By what measure? He looks at Leonine, kneeling, defeated, waiting for death. He looks at the frozen misbegotten, creatures made to be tools and punished for wanting to be more. He looks at his own hands, red lightning still crackling around them, corruption waiting to dig deeper. Doom makes his choice. He closes his fist. The red lightning dies. The dark magic retreats back into the sealed chambers of his soul. His armor's warnings scream about the dimensional breach, about power drain, about tactical disadvantage. He ignores them all. "Stand," Doom tells Leonine. The creature stares. "What?" "Stand," Doom repeats. "You are defeated, your weapon is destroyed, but you need not die. You wanted freedom. I offer something better. I offer purpose." Time resumes. Sound and motion return like a wave breaking. The misbegotten stir. Alessa gasps. Roderick raises his spear. Leonine slowly rises to its feet. The grafted blade is gone, dissolved to rust. The creature looks at its empty hands, then at Doom. "You spare me." "Doom spares you all," Victor says, raising his voice so every misbegotten can hear. "You were made as tools, discarded as failures. You fought for survival because you had no other choice. That ends now. Swear to me. Serve order instead of chaos. Help rebuild this broken world instead of tearing it down further. Do this and you will have what you truly wanted. Not just freedom, but belonging. Not just survival, but meaning." The misbegotten murmur among themselves. Leonine looks around at its people, then back at Doom. "And if we refuse, then I kill all of you in the next 3 minutes," Doom says flatly. "Not with magic your blade could eat, with tactics, with weapons, with methods you cannot counter. You are defeated already. This is not a negotiation. This is an offer of survival. Leonine's jaw tightens. Then slowly it kneels again, this time not in defeat, in submission. We accept, it growls. We serve. But know this, Metal Man, if you betray us, if you make us tools again without honor, we will die fighting you, all of us. That is our promise. Acceptable, Doom says. He extends his hand. After a moment, Leonine takes it. The massive clawed hand engulfs Doom's gauntlet. They shake once firmly. Behind them, Brother Valis's knights are shouting in outrage. Here is he! Commander, arrest them both. This is violation of the Golden Order's law. Alessa doesn't move. She's staring at Doom with an expression he cannot read. Stand down, she says quietly. But Commander, I said stand down. Her voice cracks like a whip. The knights fall silent. Alessa approaches Doom. She looks exhausted. What did you just do? Change the terms, Doom says. He feels the cost in his bones. The dimensional breach has widened dangerously. His armor is running on backup power. He has perhaps 12 hours before critical failure. But 300 misbegotten stand down, and 50 garrison soldiers in the castle will live. The math is favorable. The Fingers won't accept this, Alessa warns. You were supposed to destroy them and bring back the grafted blade. Instead, you've created an army loyal to you. They'll see it as insurrection. Then they will see it accurately, Doom says. I did not come here to serve their order. I came to prove mine is superior. This is the proof. Kera steps forward. Her face is streaked with tears. You were going to use that red magic, and I felt it. It was killing you, but you stopped. Why? Doom looks at her, at all of them, humans and tarnished and misbegotten, all watching him for an answer. Because, he says slowly, victory purchased at the cost of one's fundamental nature is not victory. It is surrender disguised as triumph. Doom will rule this world or die trying, but he will do so as himself, not as some corrupted shadow. The words sound right, but deep inside, Doom feels the dark magic whispering. It wants to be used. It promises power without limit, and somewhere, in a part of himself he rarely acknowledges, Victor von Doom is terrified that next time he will not be strong enough to refuse. Codex note: dark magic in the lands between functions as spiritual debt. Each use trades pieces of the caster's essential self for power that cannot be contained by normal grace, making the user both stronger and progressively more hollow, until nothing remains but hunger wearing a person's shape. Pilgrimage Judgment. The journey to the Erdtree's sanctum takes 5 days. Doom travels with Commander Alessa, an elite guard of 30 soldiers, Roderick and Kera, and Leonine with 300 misbegotten marching behind. They move north through landscapes that grow stranger with each mile. The earth turns golden near the roots of the Erdtree. The sky itself seems to bend around that impossible tree. Reality feels thinner here, as if the boundary between the lands between and other places is wearing away. On the second night, they camp in a ruined chapel. The walls still bear murals showing Marika's era, images of the Erdtree spreading its roots across the world, of grace flowing like rivers into all living things. Doom stands before one image for an hour. It shows Marika standing before the Erdtree, and in her eyes is an expression he recognizes: control, absolute will, the determination to reshape reality through sheer force of conviction. She failed. The ring shattered, the kingdoms burned, her order collapsed into chaos. Doom will not repeat her errors. Kera finds him there. She brings water and bread. She has stopped asking if he needs to eat. Instead, she simply provides, and Doom simply accepts. Something has shifted between them after Castle Morn. Not friendship exactly, but something like mutual recognition. Are you afraid? She asks. Doom does not experience fear, he replies, but it is not entirely true. His armor's systems are degrading. The breach is now 17% wider than when he arrived. At this rate, it will destabilize completely in 3 days. If it does, he cannot return to Latveria. He will be trapped here forever. The thought sits in his chest like a stone. You're lying, Kera says gently. I can hear it in your voice. Or maybe I just know you well enough now to recognize when Victor von Doom is afraid. Then what does Doom fear? He asks, turning to face her. That you won't be able to fix this, she says. That you'll get what you want. Absolute rule, total order, and it won't be enough. That you'll discover power doesn't actually heal anything. It just makes bigger cracks in bigger worlds. Doom considers her words. They are dangerous words, words that undermine certainty, words that suggest his entire philosophy might be flawed. Your fear is premature, he says finally. I have not yet attempted to rule. The experiment is not concluded. On the third day, they reach a plateau overlooking the Erd tree. The tree rises ahead like a golden mountain made of branches and light. Doom's sensors cannot process it. The data contradicts itself. The tree is simultaneously a plant, a construct, a living god, and a prison. They are met by an honor guard, not soldiers, something else. 10 figures in armor that seems to be made of the Erd tree itself, white and gold, organic yet rigid. Their faces are hidden behind masks that show no expression. They move in perfect synchronization. Fell saints, Brother Valis whispers from where he rides near the front, servants of the Erd tree itself. They serve the interests of the Golden Order directly. The lead fell saint raises one hand. Its voice is clear, but seems to come from everywhere at once. Victor von Doom, you have been summoned to the sanctum of the Two Fingers to receive judgment. You will leave your armies here. You will come alone with only your honor guard of 5. No misbegotten will enter the sanctum. No weapons will be carried. These are the conditions of audience. And if Doom refuses, Victor asks, then the sanctum will come to you, the fell saint replies, and you will face judgment regardless of your preference. Surrender is optional, judgment is not. Doom calculates. He could fight these things, could probably win, but it would cost him precious time and resources he does not have. The breach grows more unstable by the hour. Doom accepts, he says. He selects his companions carefully. Alessa as a secular witness, Roderick as a representative of the common people, Kara as a voice of the tarnished, Brother Valis as the Golden Order's representative, and Leonine, because the Fell Saints did not explicitly forbid it, and Doom will not pretend submission he does not feel. They are escorted into the Erd tree itself. The entrance is an arch of white bark and gold light. Beyond it, space no longer follows normal rules. They walk through distances that should take hours and cover them in minutes. They pass through chambers carved from the tree's interior. Some are vast, supported by columns as thick as castles. Others are small, intimate, glowing with soft light that comes from nowhere. They encounter figures painted on the walls, records, history, the fingers chronicle of the lands between. Doom's systems try to catalog it all, but the data is too vast, too alien. It will take months to fully interpret. The sanctum itself is small, a circular chamber 60 feet across, its walls breathing slightly as if the tree itself is living and conscious. At the center, floating above the ground, the Two Fingers wait. But something is different. They are not passive this time. They move, they gesture, they communicate not through the finger reader, but directly, their vast presence pressing against Doom's mind like weight. Victor resists the mental intrusion. His armor has basic, psionic shielding. It holds, but barely. The fingers lower to the ground. They stand upright, and Doom realizes with surprise that they are standing before him, making themselves vulnerable, a gesture of respect or perhaps of demonstration. The voice comes directly into Doom's mind now, not through ears, but through consciousness itself. You came alone because you had no choice, the Two Fingers speak. You chose mercy at Castle Morn because you had no choice. You wear the breach like a burden because you had no choice. Tell us, Victor von Doom, how many of your choices have actually been freely made? All of them, Doom responds, keeping his mental voice steady. Every choice that matters was made by Victor von Doom according to his own analysis and will. The fact that consequences exist does not negate freedom. Interesting philosophy. The greater will once told Marika the same. Look where her certainty led. Images flood Doom's mind. He sees the shattering, demigods warring across the continent, millions dead, the Erd tree turning inward, sealing itself against its own charges, the beginning of the eternal cycle of dying and returning. Marika was weak, Doom says. She allowed sentiment to override duty. Her downfall is proof of the dangers of divided will. Or it is proof that no single will can bear the weight of a world, the Two Fingers counter. Marika learned this. You will learn it too, or you will break like she did. The voices withdraw slightly. Doom gasps mentally, the pressure lifting. Around him, his companions look shaken. Even Leonine seems diminished by the presence of the two fingers. "We have assessed you," a new voice says. This one is softer, older. The finger reader, Enya, steps from the shadows. "We have read your will, your power, your fundamental nature. The judgment is this: you may stay in the lands between. You may pursue your ambitions, but you will do so bound by law." "What law?" Doom asks. Enya raises her hands. The two fingers pulse with light. Power flows from them into the space between, and suddenly three paths appear before Doom, three futures rendered visible as roads forking in different directions. First path, the return, the two fingers intone. You close the breach fully, you return to Latveria, you leave the lands between to find its own way. Your presence will fade from memory within generations, but Latveria will be safe, your people will survive, you will not be trapped between worlds. Second path, the sovereign, they continue. You remain here, you build your empire, you become Elden Lord or something beyond it, but you will do so openly. The Golden Order will oppose you. War will come. Thousands will die. You will rule over ashes and blood and bone. Third path, the servant, the voices conclude. You accept a mandate. You become sworn to the Erdtree's purpose. You gain access to its power. You can heal this world, but you will do so according to laws you did not write. You will serve the greater will's purposes, even when they conflict with your own. You will not be Elden Lord. You will be something else, something new. Doom looks at each path. He can see them clearly now. In the first, Latveria stands proud but smaller, his work half finished. In the second, the lands between lies broken by war, remade in Doom's image, but empty of meaning. In the third, a strange new future where power flows through him but not from him. "I require time to consider," Doom says. "Time is the one resource you do not have," Enya replies, not unkindly. "The breach destabilizes in your chest with every hour. By tomorrow's sunset, the decision must be made. Return to Latveria or commit to the lands between. There is no third option for you, only which of the three paths you choose." The escort of fell saints appears. They gesture. The audience is over. As they walk through the Erdtree's interior again, Kera moves close to Doom. "What did they show you?" she whispers. "Three endings," Doom replies, "all of them wrong." That night they camp in a garden within the Erdtree. The sky is gold here, the grass is soft as down, flowers bloom in colors that should not exist. It is beautiful and terrible, a reminder that even paradise can be a cage. Doom stands alone, watching the flowers. His armor's systems display the breach statistics in his peripheral vision. 18 hours remaining before critical instability. After that, the barrier between worlds collapses. He will be trapped, not dead, but imprisoned in a reality that is slowly killing him with incompatible energies. Leonine approaches. The massive misbegotten walks quietly, moving with surprising grace for something so large. It kneels beside Doom, lowering itself to his level. "You must choose," the creature says. "It is not a question." "Yes." "My people wonder if you will abandon us," Leonine continues. "If you will choose to return to your homeland and leave us to the Golden Order's judgment, we would understand. We always understood. We might be expendable." Doom looks at the creature. Leonine was made through grafting, a collection of parts from different beings, forced into one body. It has been treated as an abomination its entire existence, and yet it stands here, offering Doom grace in his moment of crisis. "What do you counsel?" Doom asks. Leonine considers. "I was made without choice. I was shaped into a weapon. For my entire existence until you arrived, I had no agency. You offered me something rare. I became myself for the first time. I chose to serve you not from compulsion but from free will. But I also know that you are suffering. The power that keeps you alive is eating you from inside. No ruler can lead effectively while dying." "Then I return," Doom says. "I abandon this place." "No," Leonine says firmly. "You serve. You take the third path. You accept the mandate, because if you do not, all that you prevented at Castle Morn, the cycle of violence, the endless suffering, it will simply continue without you. Better to serve under law than to abandon the work half finished." Doom turns to face the misbegotten fully. "You counsel I give up sovereignty." I counsel that sovereignty is the cage, and you are already imprisoned by your own certainty, Leonine says. Perhaps service under law is the only freedom left available to you, not because it is ideal, but because ideals are the luxury of those not dying. Doom rises. He walks away from Leonine, moving through the impossible garden. His mind races through calculations and implications. Every option leads to loss. Every choice demands sacrifice. But that has always been true. That is the nature of power in a broken world. There is no victory without cost, only choices about what price is acceptable. He returns to the group. He looks at each companion, a lesser, who serves the Golden Order but questions its wisdom. Roderick, who fights to survive in a system that wants him dead. Kara, who hopes despite endless suffering. Even Brother Valis, whose faith is shaken but not broken. Doom has decided, Victor says. Act 3 paths. Choice, new mandate. The ritual takes place at the Erd tree's root. Doom kneels before the 2 fingers. Around him in concentric circles stand representatives of the Golden Order, the tarnished, the misbegotten, and the common people of the lands between. Thousands have gathered without being explicitly called. Word spread through the lands. Something is changing. The world is watching. Enya approaches with ceremonial vessels. She pours water from one into Doom's palm. It glows with grace, actual divine favor, uncontaminated and pure. Drink, she commands. Sever your connection to Latveria fully. Accept that you are now of this place, and this place alone. Doom hesitates. This is the moment. After this, there is no return. Latveria will be left without his direct guidance. Mystical threats will go unanswered. His people will face dangers he cannot prevent. Yeah. But Latveria is strong. He has built systems that will persist. He has trained successors. His nation will endure. The lands between has no such safeguards. It will collapse into cycles unless something changes. Doom drinks. The water tastes like liquid starlight. His armor systems scream as the grace floods through him. It burns like fire because grace and the dimensional energies from his breach are fundamentally incompatible. They war with each other. For 3 seconds that feel like hours, Doom experiences agony beyond anything he has known. Then something shifts. The incompatible energies don't merge. They achieve equilibrium, coexistence. His armor systems recalibrate, new pathways open. He can feel it, the connection to Latveria growing dim, then fading to absolute blackness. He is cut off, stranded. He is also alive. Enya produces a crown. It is not a crown in the traditional sense. It is a band of white metal etched with symbols from Marika's era. It pulses with light. This is the crown of the sanctioned servant, Enya says. It marks you as sworn to the Erd tree's purposes. It grants you access to our power. It also binds you. You will not leave the lands between. You will not work against the Golden Order's fundamental directives. You will protect rather than conquer. You will heal rather than dominate. And if I break these bindings, Doom asks? The crown will burn away your essence slowly, Enya replies. You will die screaming from the inside for a year before you finally reach true death. The fingers are not merciful when oath breakers are concerned. Doom accepts the crown. It settles onto his armor's head casing. It is heavier than it looks, not physically but spiritually, emotionally, metaphysically. Doom feels the weight of a world's expectations. He stands. For the first time since arriving in the lands between, Victor von Doom stands not as a conqueror but as something constrained, something bound to purposes larger than his own ambitions. And to his surprise, it does not feel entirely wrong. A mirror appears before him, not a physical mirror but a manifestation of will. It shows him reflected, and something is different. The crown pulses with light. His armor gleams not just with technology, but with grace. He looks like something between human and divine, between tool and God. Then the reflection shifts. Something twisted appears beside him in the mirror, a figure that is almost Victor, but wrong. This Doom wears armor corroded by dark magic. This Doom's eyes glow red instead of gold. This Doom bears the crown on his head, but the crown is eating him alive, corroding away piece by piece. Here, threat, a warning, a possible future if he breaks his oath. Before Doom can move, the figure in the mirror steps out. It is him, and it is not. Mirror foe, the corrupted echo of his own possibility. It speaks with his voice, but twisted, distorted through layers of rage and despair. You think you can serve, the mirror says. You think you can accept constraint? This is weakness. This is surrender. I am what you should become. Unrestricted, unlimited, free. You are what I would become if I lost faith in my own philosophy, Doom responds. You are the broken remnant of certainty shattered against reality. I do not fear you. Yes, you do, the mirror laughs. Because I prove that Victor von Doom's way leads not to order but to dissolution. Every step toward power is a step toward becoming me. The mirror lunges, it moves with Doom's own speed, knows his own tactics. Their clash is brief and brutal. The mirror fights like Doom, because it is Doom, but it fights with reckless fury, while Doom fights with a controlled purpose, as the battle lasts perhaps 30 seconds. In that time, Doom uses every technique he knows, and some he had not known he knew. His enemy does the same. They are perfectly matched. Then a light fills the space. The Erdtree's grace manifests directly, pushing outward. Both Dooms are thrown apart. The mirror tumbles away, and as it does, it begins to fade. It is not real. It is a manifestation of the finger's will, a test of his conviction. As it dissolves, it speaks one final time. You chose service. I hope you survive your own compromise, Victor, because compromise always costs more than certainty ever did. Then it is gone. Doom rises slowly. The grace has burned away some of his remaining dark magic. He can feel the hollowness where corruption once nested. He is cleaner, hollower, but also freer in ways he did not expect. A lesser approaches. She kneels. Behind her the soldiers and common people follow, not in reverence but in acknowledgement. He has chosen their world over his own. That choice commands respect. Rise, Doom commands. Kneeling solves nothing. Work solves everything. They rise. Kera steps forward. She looks at the crown, at Doom's transformed form, at the weight he now carries. What happens now, she asks. Now, Doom says, we rebuild. The Golden Order's authority is confirmed but reformed. The tarnished have purpose beyond endless dying. The misbegotten are accepted as citizens rather than abominations. The lands between has a servant bound to improving its state. The work begins immediately. And you? Roderick asks. What do you become? Doom looks at the Erdtree towering above them, at the grace flowing through the world, at the millions of lives depending on the choices he now makes. Doom becomes what he was always meant to be. Victor says quietly, not a king, not a god, just a man with power, forced to use it responsibly. It is less than I wanted, more than I deserve, but it will serve. Brother Valis approaches with an expression impossible to read. He looks at the crown, at the light suffusing Doom's form. He looks at the covenant binding visible now as golden chains connecting Doom to the Erdtree itself. You serve the greater will, Valis says finally. You are no longer a threat to the Order. You are a tool. I am a servant with authority, Doom corrects. A distinction that matters. I will reshape your order, or I will leave it. The determination will be made through action, not doctrine. That is my mandate, and if your order opposes it, your order will be remade. Do not mistake service for servitude. A dangerous attitude, Valis says. The only attitude that will save this world, Doom replies. In the days following the ritual, something shifts across the lands between. The grace that had been diminished by Doom's arrival returns and stabilizes at new levels. The areas that had been drained of divine favor begin recovering. The misbegotten are declared citizens by official edict, though many priests object. The tarnished are given new purpose, not to fight endlessly for scraps, but to rebuild infrastructure and establish order. It is slow, it is incomplete, it will take generations, but for the first time since the shattering, the lands between feels like it might have a future beyond endless repetition. 3 weeks after the binding ritual, Doom stands in the ruins of what was once a great library. The books are destroyed, but some texts can be recovered. He has tasked himself with understanding this world's full history, its magic systems, its fundamental laws. A king conquers through force. A servant conquers through knowledge. Leonine finds him there. The misbegotten has been made a commander of forces. He wears no armor, but his body itself is his greatest weapon. Your Latverian kingdom has declared you dead, Leonine says without preamble. They have mourned you and moved forward. A successor has taken your throne. They do not expect your return. Did you expect this? Doom asks. I expected you to grieve, Leonine replies. I do not see grief in you. Grief is sentiment, Doom says. Latveria was my life's work, but work is never finished, only abandoned or passed on. I passed it on. Now I work on greater projects. That is a very Doom answer, Leonine observes. Also a very sad one, I think. But sadness you will not admit to. Doom sets down the book he was reading. It details the Erdtree's creation myth, Marika's first covenant, the moment the greater will entered the lands between. Tell me something, Leonine. You were made as a tool, forced into service. Had your will denied, you had every reason to hate all masters and all servitude. Yet you counsel me to accept a mandate. Why? Because I had no choice, Leonine says. I was made, not born. But you had choice, and you surrendered it. That fascinates me. That confuses me. That makes me believe perhaps there is something to this idea of willing service. Perhaps the difference between slavery and choice is not whether chains exist, but whether you place them on yourself in full knowledge. Like philosophy from a misbegotten, Doom muses. I contain multitudes, Leonine says, with something that might be humor. Also, I spent many years pretending to lead others while actually being led by instinct and rage. Now I actually choose. It changes everything. That night, Kara visits Doom in his chambers. The chamber is austere. A bed, a desk, windows overlooking Lendl. No luxury, no comfort beyond function. Doom has never needed such things. She brings news from the provinces. The reconstruction is proceeding faster than expected. Misbegotten workers prove invaluable for heavy labor. Tarnished soldiers turned peacekeepers are establishing new laws that are brutal but fair. Citizens are beginning to believe tomorrow might be better than today. You've changed everything, Kara says. In just weeks, the lady who leads Stormvale is talking about stepping down. She's tired of war. She wants to become a scholar. She never would have entertained that idea before. Before, the only path was fight or die. And now, Duma asks. Now there are paths, Kara says. Different paths. Some lead nowhere, some lead upward. That's all we ever wanted. Just to know the next step won't be backward. She sits near him, but not close. They are not friends, not quite, but something bonds them now. Shared purpose, shared survival. Are you happy? She asks. Happiness is inefficient, Doom replies. That's not an answer. No, Doom admits. I am not happy, but I am occupied, purposeful. The work is adequate. The life is adequate. Happiness was never the goal. Maybe it should have been, Kara suggests. Perhaps, Doom concedes, but I lack the capacity to want it. I can only do what I am designed to do. And what I am designed to do is remake broken systems into functional ones. The lands between was broken, now it is less broken. That will have to be sufficient. Kara stands to leave but pauses at the door. For what it's worth, I think that's its own kind of victory, and not the glorious kind they'll sing songs about, just the real kind, the kind that actually changes things. After she leaves, Doom returns to his studies. He has discovered texts detailing Marika's original covenant with the Greater Will. The terms were simpler than he expected. Marika simply accepted that she was not equipped to rule alone. She bound herself to guidance from something larger. In exchange, she gained the power to maintain order. She failed ultimately because she tried to combine her will with the mandate. She tried to serve and also rule. The contradiction destroyed her. Doom will not repeat her error. He will serve. He will accept guidance. But he will do so without surrendering analysis or reason. The three fingers operate on different logic than he understands, but logic is logic. Eventually, he will understand. 6 months pass. The golden city of Lendl has begun transforming, not through destruction but through rebuilding. Streets that were cracked are being repaired. Buildings that were abandoned are being reclaimed. The grace flows stronger now, and with it comes healing for the land and its people. Doom has established new systems of governance. Not democracy, that is messy and inefficient, but not absolute autocracy either. A hierarchy of capability where the most qualified rule and those below them have clear paths to advancement. It is working better than anyone expected. The misbegotten prove excellent administrators. Free from the curse of desperate survival, they have developed impressive organizational skills. Leonine now serves as a provincial governor. He has proven capable and just. He has married one of the remaining tarnished warriors, a woman named Sorrel who carries an ancient halberd. Together they represent something new for the lands between, beings of power choosing to build rather than destroy. Roderick has become an official commander in Doom's forces. He trains new soldiers in combined tactics that incorporate what he learned from Doom's methods. The old style of endless charges and individual heroics has given way to disciplined formations and calculated strikes. Fewer soldiers die, the victories are cleaner. Kera remains a scout and information gatherer. She travels the lands, reporting on how the new systems are being received. Most people support them, some resist, clinging to the old ways and the old gods. The resistance is minimal, enough resistance to be dealt with, but not enough to threaten stability, and Brother Valis has become something unexpected. He still serves the Golden Order, still maintains the churches and the doctrine, but his interpretation has shifted. The Order, he now teaches, requires not blind obedience, but active participation in its goals. The Erdtree's purpose is to create fertile ground for life, not to maintain itself through the suffering. It is heresy, according to strict doctrine, but the Two Fingers, consulted through Enya, have allowed it. Change is permitted, provided it does not contradict the fundamental mandate. On an evening 6 months after the binding, Doom stands atop the highest tower of Lendel. The sun is setting, painting the Erdtree gold and red. The city below is lit by countless small fires, homes, smithies, gathering places. The people below are eating, sleeping, planning tomorrow. None of them know that Doom would sometimes choose to end things, that the dark magic still whispers. That part of him still longs for the simplicity of absolute control without the burden of actually caring whether those under that control live well. But he endures. That is his function now. Endurance, duty, the quiet acceptance of limitation. A sound reaches him. Thunder. Impossible thunder from a clear sky. For a moment, Doom's ancient heart leaps. Is it Latveria calling back to him? Is the barrier being broken? Is he being summoned home? No. The thunder sounds again, but it is not calling him. It is calling something else. The sky tears open with violet light. A shape descends. Not a person, not a god, something between. It speaks with the voice like shattering glass. The Golden Order notes your work, servant. Marika's shattered legacy gains coherence under your ministry. But know this, others have noticed your presence, other powers, other wills. The lands between is not empty of rivals. Prepare, your true work has not yet begun. The shape withdraws. The sky closes. Thunder fades. Doom is left standing alone with this new knowledge. The lands between is not the only player in this game. There are other forces, other wills moving against each other in spaces Doom cannot see. He has made a covenant, accepted a mandate, begun rebuilding. But it was only the first move in a game far larger than he understood. Doom returns to his study. He sits at his desk, his hands fold together. His voice, when he speaks, is quiet. Then the work continues, he says to the empty room. Doom has accepted this world. Doom will master it, and if others come, if other wills emerge to contest this order, Doom will prove again that only absolute certainty can remake a broken system into something whole. The crown on his head glows softly, and the chains binding him to the Erdtree pulse with golden light. Somewhere in the darkness between worlds, new threats stir, new conflicts prepare themselves. But Doom does not fear them. Fear is inefficient, and Victor von Doom was never built for inefficiency. He returns to his research. Outside, the city sleeps, the people rest. The lands between continues its slow reconstruction, and in the tower above them all, a servant bound by oath and driven by will works through the night to prepare for wars not yet declared against enemies not yet revealed. The story does not end. But this chapter closes with the simple truth. Order has come to the lands between. Not perfect order, not gentle order, but functional order. And in a world that has known only chaos and suffering, that is enough. Oh, and that is more than enough. That is perhaps the only real victory there ever was. Codex. Note, the binding oath of the sanctioned servant creates metaphysical synchronization with the Erdtree's purpose. making the servant's health inseparable from the realm's health, and ensuring that even pride and the desire for absolute control become tools for building rather than destruction.